Hey everyone, and welcome back to KenkoVibe, your daily dose of health insights. I'm Ethan Reed,
And I'm Grace Morgan.
and we are so excited to have you join us as always.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Today we're diving into a topic that I know a lot of you have been curious about: weight loss medications.
Absolutely.
It's something that we see everywhere these days, right?
Everywhere. All over the news, social media. It can be
Yeah.
tough to separate fact from fiction.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a topic that really does deserve a nuanced discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, weight loss is a challenge for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
It's not always as simple as calories in, calories out.
Not always.
So where do these weight loss medications fit into the picture? Are they a magic bullet? Are they a last resort? Or are they somewhere in between?
I think it's safe to say they're definitely not a magic bullet.
Right.
You're not going to just see results by popping a pill and continuing with all the same habits.
Right.
But they're also not just a last resort.
Okay, so they're more like a tool in the toolbox then.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
The FDA has actually approved several prescription medications specifically for long-term weight loss.
Wow.
And they can be a really valuable option for people who are obese or overweight with related health conditions.
Okay. That makes sense, but I know that there are some people out there who are still a little hesitant about weight loss medications.
Yeah.
They might see it as taking a shortcut, or they might be worried about potential side effects. What would you say to those concerns?
I think it's totally understandable to have those concerns.
Yeah.
Any medication can have potential side effects.
Right.
And it's super important to weigh those potential benefits against the risks.
Yeah.
But I think it's also crucial to remember that for many people, obesity is a complex medical condition. It's not simply a matter of willpower.
Right. It's not as simple as just eat less and move more.
Exactly. And for some individuals, weight loss medications, when combined with those lifestyle changes, can really be a game changer. They can help to kind of kickstart that process and improve metabolic health and even reduce the risk of some pretty serious health issues like diabetes and heart disease.
So how do these medications actually work? I mean, is there a one-size-fits-all approach?
Not at all.
Okay.
These medications work in a few different ways. They target different pathways in the body
Okay.
that regulate appetite, metabolism, even how our bodies store fat.
Okay.
So some medications might work by making you feel fuller faster.
Okay.
So you just naturally eat less.
Mm-hmm.
Others might increase your metabolism,
Okay.
helping you burn more calories throughout the day. And some even interfere with the way our body absorbs fat.
Wow. So it's a lot more to it than I realized.
Yes.
It's not just about suppressing your appetite.
Nope. It's much more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to work closely with a healthcare professional to find a medication that's right for you.
Right. Because what works for one person might not work for another.
Absolutely.
Speaking of different medications, are there any that stand out as being particularly effective?
Well, a class of drugs called GLP-1 receptor agonists is considered to be the most effective right now.
I've heard of those.
You've probably heard of medications like Wegovy, Ozempic, Saxenda.
Yeah, those names ring a bell.
Those are all GLP-1 agonists.
Okay, so what's the deal with GLP-1 agonists? How do they work?
Okay, so GLP-1 is a hormone that's naturally produced in our gut.
Okay.
And it plays a really important role in regulating our blood sugar levels and our appetite. So these medications basically mimic the effects of GLP-1, helping to slow down digestion, make you feel fuller for longer, and reduce those pesky cravings.
And they even can have like positive effects on blood sugar control and heart health too, right?
Exactly. They are multitaskers.
Wow.
But it's important to remember that like any medication, GLP-1 agonists can have some side effects.
Of course.
The most common ones are gastrointestinal, things like nausea, diarrhea, constipation.
Oh, that doesn't sound too fun.
Not really.
Yeah.
But the good news is these side effects often improve over time.
Yeah.
As your body adjusts the medication.
Good.
And for many people, the benefits outweigh the risks.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What happens when someone stops taking these medications? Do they just kind of bounce back to their original weight?
That's a really crucial question.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, weight regain after stopping a medication is a real concern.
Yeah.
And it really highlights the importance of using the time that you're on the medication to establish healthy habits.
So it's not just about the medication doing all the work.
Right.
It's about using it as a stepping stone to kind of build a more sustainable lifestyle.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about working on those long-term lifestyle changes, like adopting a balanced diet, incorporating regular physical activity,
Yeah.
while you have the support of the medication.
Right.
That way, when you do eventually come off of the medication,
Yeah.
you have a better chance of maintaining that weight loss.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's like a team effort between the medication and the lifestyle changes.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people out there are curious about over-the-counter weight loss remedies.
Mhm.
What's your take on those?
To be honest, I'm generally cautious about over-the-counter weight loss remedies.
Okay.
Many of them haven't been rigorously tested for safety or effectiveness,
Yeah.
and they can sometimes have unexpected side effects.
Okay, so buyer beware.
Exactly. It's always best to talk to your doctor before trying any new supplement or remedy, even if it is available over the counter.
Good advice.
They can help you to assess the potential risks and benefits and make sure it's appropriate for you.
Sound advice. So we've talked a lot about medication,
Yes.
but where does exercise fit into all this?
Exercise is a cornerstone of any healthy lifestyle,
Yeah.
regardless of whether you're taking weight loss medication or not.
Okay.
It's crucial for our overall health and well-being,
Sure.
and it can play a significant role in weight management.
Okay, but what about people who are taking weight loss medication? Do they still need to exercise?
Absolutely. In fact, it's even more important in that context.
Okay.
Think of it this way. The medication might help you eat less
So okay.
or burn more calories, but exercise helps you to build muscle, improve your metabolism, and enhance your overall fitness.
Yeah.
It also has a ton of other benefits,
Of course.
like boosting your mood, improving sleep quality, reducing stress.
So it's like a synergistic effect then.
Yeah.
The medication and the exercise are working together to
Right.
create even better results.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And the great thing about exercise is there's something for everyone. You don't have to run marathons or lift heavy weights.
Right.
Find something you enjoy, whether it's dancing, swimming, hiking,
Yeah.
or even just taking a brisk walk out in nature.
I love that it's about making movement a part of your life, not a chore.
Absolutely.
Now, what about those folks out there who might be doing everything right?
Yeah.
Taking medication, exercising, eating a healthy diet,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still struggling to see significant weight loss.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
First of all, I would want them to know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Weight loss is a complex journey, and it
Yeah.
can be incredibly challenging.
Right.
It's important to remember that everyone's body responds differently
Yeah.
to medications and lifestyle changes.
So there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. But here's the good news. Even if you're not seeing the numbers on the scale budge as quickly as you'd like,
Yeah.
focusing on healthy habits can still lead to significant improvements in your overall health and well-being.
So it's about shifting the focus from just weight loss to overall health.
Precisely. Even small changes can make a big difference over time.
Yeah.
Things like swapping sugary drinks for water,
Mm-hmm.
adding more fruits and vegetables to your meals,
Right.
choosing lean protein sources,
Yeah.
getting regular physical activity. These are all things that can have a positive impact on your health,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of whether the weight is coming off.
That's such an important message.
It's
It's about taking care of your body and making sustainable changes that you can stick with for the long haul.
absolutely. And it's crucial to have a support system.
Yeah.
Lean on your friends, your family, or even consider joining a support group.
Sure.
Having people to cheer you on and hold you accountable can make all the difference.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We've talked about the role of weight loss medications, different types of medications, the importance of lifestyle changes,
Yes,
and even address some common concerns.
absolutely.
So what are your key takeaways so far?
For me, it's about recognizing that weight loss medications can be a valuable tool,
Mm-hmm.
but they are most effective when combined with healthy habits
Yeah.
and a personalized approach.
Yeah.
It's not a quick fix.
Right.
It's about making sustainable changes for long-term health and well-being.
That's a great way to sum it up. We'll be back soon with part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into the world of weight loss medications.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to KenkoVibe. We're continuing our deep dive into weight loss medications, picking up right where we left off.
In part 1, we talked about those impressive GLP-1 agonists.
Yes,
Are there other types of medications out there that people should know about?
absolutely. There's another category called combination medications,
Okay.
which, as the name suggests, combine two different drugs that work on different pathways in the brain.
Interesting. So it's like a 1-2 punch against those cravings.
Exactly. A good example is Contrav,
Okay.
which combines bupropion, an antidepressant, with naltrexone,
Okay.
a medication used to treat alcohol and opioid dependence.
Wow. That's an interesting mix. I wouldn't have guessed that those could help with weight loss.
It might seem surprising, but
Huh.
both of these medications have shown to have effects on the brain's reward and motivation centers,
Okay.
which are also involved in regulating appetite.
So bupropion might help reduce cravings by affecting the brain's reward system, while naltrexone could work by blocking opioid receptors, which might be involved in those pleasurable feelings we get from food.
That's a great summary. Essentially, these medications work together to make healthier choices feel more rewarding
Okay.
and less driven by those intense cravings.
That's fascinating. So we've got GLP-1 agonists
Yes.
and combination medications. Are there any other approaches out there?
There is one more we should discuss.
Mm.
Orlistat.
Okay.
This medication works in a completely different way than the others we've talked about.
Okay. Color me intrigued. What makes orlistat so unique?
Orlistat is a lipase inhibitor.
Okay.
Lipase is an enzyme in our digestive system that breaks down fats, allowing them to be absorbed into the bloodstream. Orlistat basically blocks the action of lipase,
Okay.
preventing a portion of the fat that we eat from being absorbed.
So it's like a fat blocker.
Precisely. It essentially helps to reduce the number of calories you absorb from dietary fat.
That's pretty ingenious. I imagine there are some downsides though, right?
Yeah. There are some things to consider.
Okay.
Orlistat is typically recommended for short-term use.
Okay.
And it's really important to follow a low-fat diet while taking it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might experience some, shall we say, uncomfortable gastrointestinal side effects.
I can imagine. I think I'd rather stick to those GLP-1 agonists.
It's really about finding the medication that's best suited for your individual needs and preferences.
Yeah.
In consultation with your healthcare provider, of course.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, we've talked about the potential benefits of these medications.
Yes.
But it's important to acknowledge the other side of the coin too, right? What about potential risks and side effects?
You're right. Every medication comes with potential risks, and weight loss medications are no exception. It's really crucial to have a thorough discussion with your doctor to understand the potential side effects and whether the benefits outweigh the risks for you.
So what are some of the common side effects people might experience?
Well, it really varies depending on the specific medication. Okay.
But some of the more common ones include gastrointestinal issues like nausea, constipation, diarrhea.
Those don't sound too pleasant.
No, they definitely aren't. But the good news is these side effects often lessen over time
Okay.
as your body adjusts to the medication.
Good.
And in many cases, they can be managed with dietary adjustments or over-the-counter remedies.
Okay, that's reassuring. Are there any more serious side effects that people should be aware of?
Yes, there can be rarer but more serious side effects,
Okay.
which is why that close monitoring by your healthcare provider is so important. It's really crucial to report any unusual symptoms right away.
So open communication with your doctor is key.
Absolutely. And it's also important to remember that weight loss medications aren't right for everyone.
Okay.
They're generally recommended for individuals with a BMI over 30
Okay.
or those with a BMI over 27 who also have weight-related health issues like diabetes or high blood pressure.
So it's not just for someone who wants to lose a few pounds for cosmetic reasons. Exactly. And there are certain medical conditions or medications that might interact with weight loss drugs,
Right.
making them unsuitable.
Yeah.
That's why a comprehensive assessment by a healthcare professional is so important.
Yeah, it's all about personalized medicine, finding the right approach for each individual.
Yeah, precisely. Now let's talk about another important aspect of weight loss medications: cost.
Yeah.
These medications can be expensive,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, they're not always covered by insurance.
That's a really crucial point. The cost can definitely be a barrier for some people.
It absolutely can. It's important to talk to your insurance provider
Mhm.
to understand what's covered and what your out-of-pocket expenses might be. Some pharmaceutical companies also offer patient assistance programs to help offset the cost.
That's good to know. Is there anything else people should think about before starting a weight loss medication?
I think it's really essential to have realistic expectations.
Okay.
Weight loss medications are not a quick fix.
Right.
They won't work miracles overnight. Right.
They're tools to help you make progress, but they do require commitment and lifestyle changes to be truly effective.
So it's not just about taking a pill. It's about making a conscious effort to adopt healthy habits.
Exactly. It's about creating a sustainable lifestyle that supports both your physical and mental well-being.
Yeah.
And speaking of sustainable lifestyles, let's circle back to something we touched on in part 1.
Okay.
What happens when someone stops taking a weight loss medication?
Ah, yes, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Do they just regain all the weight that they lost?
Unfortunately, that is a common concern.
Yeah.
Weight regain after stopping medication is a real challenge. That's why it's so crucial to use the time that you're on the medication
Yeah.
to establish those healthy habits that we've been talking about.
So it's about making the most of that time to kind of build a foundation for long-term success.
Precisely. It's about incorporating regular physical activity,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out what a balanced diet looks like for you.
And developing coping mechanisms for things like stress and emotional eating.
So it's almost like using the medication as a bridge to a healthier lifestyle.
That's a great analogy. It's about using the medication as a support system
Yeah,
while you work on those fundamental lifestyle changes.
that makes a lot of sense. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive. We've explored different types of weight loss medications.
have.
We've discussed potential risks and benefits, and we've emphasized the importance of having realistic expectations
Yes,
and making sustainable lifestyle changes.
we sure have. And I think it's a good reminder that weight loss is a complex and personal journey. It's not about finding a quick fix.
Right.
It's about finding what works best for you and making sustainable changes that support your overall health and well-being.
That's a great message to wrap up this part of our discussion. We'll be back soon for part 3, where we'll dive even deeper into specific medications and their mechanisms of action.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to KenkoVibe. We're wrapping up our deep dive into weight loss medications, and in this final part, we're going to get into some of the nitty-gritty details about how these medications actually work in the body.
It's time to put on our science hats.
I'm ready. So let's start with those GLP-1 agonists we talked about earlier.
Okay.
They seem to be the heavy hitters in the weight loss medication world.
They're definitely making waves, and for good reason.
Yep.
Remember how we discussed that GLP-1 is a naturally occurring hormone in our bodies?
Yeah.
Well, these medications work by mimicking the effects of GLP-1.
Okay.
And they do that by binding to specific receptors in various parts of the body.
Okay, so it's like they're impersonating GLP-1.
Exactly. And when they bind to those receptors,
Yeah.
it triggers a cascade of effects.
Okay.
One of the key areas they act on is the pancreas.
The pancreas. Isn't that the organ that produces insulin?
That's right.
Okay.
GLP-1 agonists can actually stimulate the pancreas to release more insulin when blood sugar levels are high, which is why they're also used to treat type 2 diabetes.
Interesting. So they have like a double benefit for people with diabetes.
Yeah,
They help regulate blood sugar and promote weight loss.
exactly. But their effects on appetite and weight regulation go beyond just the pancreas.
Okay.
They also act on the brain,
Okay.
specifically in areas like the hypothalamus, which is involved in regulating hunger and satiety.
So they're telling our brains to feel fuller and less hungry?
Precisely.
Okay.
And they also slow down gastric emptying, which means food stays in the stomach longer,
Okay.
further contributing to that feeling of fullness.
It's like a multi-pronged attack on those hunger pangs.
You could say that. Now let's shift gears and talk about orlistat,
Okay.
that fat blocker we mentioned earlier.
Right.
Remember how we said it works by inhibiting lipase?
Yeah, lipase is that enzyme that breaks down fat in our digestive system.
Right. So orlistat essentially binds to lipase in the gut, preventing it from breaking down dietary fat.
So the fat just passes through the body unabsorbed.
Well, not all of it.
Okay.
Orlistat blocks about 30% of dietary fat from being absorbed,
Okay.
but that can still make a significant difference in terms of calorie intake.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But we also talked about how orlistat can lead to some unpleasant side effects if you don't stick to a low-fat diet.
Right. Those side effects are mostly related to that unabsorbed fat
Yeah.
passing through the digestive system.
Okay, I think I'll pass on the orlistat and stick to my low-fat yogurt.
A wise choice, perhaps. Now let's move on to those combination medications.
Okay.
Remember Contrave, the one that combines bupropion and naltrexone?
Yeah, the antidepressant and the opioid blocker. How do those two work together to promote weight loss?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, bupropion is believed to affect the areas of the brain involved in reward and motivation. It might help to reduce cravings and that desire to overeat
Okay.
by modulating the activity of dopamine and norepinephrine,
Okay.
two neurotransmitters involved in pleasure and reward pathways.
So it's like it's making healthier choices feel more rewarding.
Exactly. Now, naltrexone, the opioid blocker, adds another layer to this mechanism.
Oh.
It's thought to block those opioid receptors in the brain,
Yeah.
which are also involved in regulating appetite
Okay.
and the pleasure associated with food.
So it's like it's dulling the pleasurable feelings we normally get from eating, making us less likely to overindulge.
That's a good way to think about it.
Okay.
By combining these two medications, you're essentially targeting multiple pathways in the brain
Yeah.
that contribute to overeating and weight gain.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Hmm.
It seems like scientists are really starting to unravel the complexities of appetite and weight regulation.
They definitely are, and there are some really exciting new developments in the pipeline.
Cool.
We're learning more and more about the intricate interplay of hormones, neurotransmitters, and gut bacteria in regulating our weight.
It's incredible how much we're still learning about the human body.
It truly is, and I think it's important to remember that weight loss medications are just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
They can be valuable tools, but they work best when combined with healthy habits and a supportive environment.
I couldn't agree more. We've talked about this throughout our deep dive, but it's worth reiterating. It's about creating a holistic approach to health and well-being.
Exactly. It's about finding a balance that works for you,
Mm.
whether that includes medication, lifestyle changes, or a combination of both.
Absolutely. And it's about seeking support when you need it, whether that's from healthcare professionals, friends, family, or support groups.
Well said. Well, I think we've covered just about every nook and cranny of weight loss medications today.
We've journeyed from the basics to the intricate workings of these medications, and I hope our listeners are feeling more informed and empowered to make healthy choices for themselves.
That's our goal. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to weight management.
Mhm.
It's a personal journey, and finding what works best for you is key.
And whether you're considering weight loss medications or not, remember that healthy habits are the foundation for lasting success.
Eat a balanced diet, move your body regularly, prioritize sleep and stress management, and surround yourself with people who support your goals.
And never hesitate to reach out to your healthcare provider with any questions or concerns.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into weight loss medications. This has been the KenkoVibe podcast. I'm Grace Morgan.
And I'm Ethan Reed. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this episode with anyone who might benefit from the information. Until next time, stay healthy and keep vibing.